Yo, what's up, homies? Today we are back at the castle, and I think it's time we build the next phase of the castle, which is going to be behind the king's tower. So it'll pretty much be like, you know, right up here with a pathway leading down to here in some way or another. I haven't really, you know, figured that bit out, but this one's gonna be big, and it's gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be a little bit, fantasy, I guess you could call it. So this is going to be like a throne slash, like, I don't know, a shrine building, I guess, but it's going to kind of phase from the deep slate up to the top is going to be some sort of black stone. And in the middle, it's just going to kind of be gone. So it'll be maybe, I don't know, a little bit of like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, where the top half of the building is just kind of suspended in midair. Like, I don't know, you'll see once we get to it. But yeah, that's the plan for today. But first, we got to do a little bit of walkway maintenance and, you know, kind of, I want to get a little bit of the snow off of the walkway up here. So there will be a little bit mixed in here of what we're going to do, but this is really the big part that we need to edit a little bit. And we're going to be using the gray carpet, and then I'm going to try and mix in some pale moss and, you know, pale moss carpets around too. But the main thing we're gonna do is essentially hide like glowstone underneath the carpet or the moss or whatever, and then just try and, you know, blend it into the walkway, make it look good. And since we need some glowstone, we're going to the nether. And I figure while we're in the nether, why don't we try and get some gold so that we can get some gold carrots, because I got that whole farm down there with no gold left. So maybe we'll do a little bit of that, or, you know, come up here and take a chill in the hot tub. But yeah, let's get down there and head into the nether and try and get some glowstone and some gold. Ow. Ow again. So let's come right on over here, and we're going down into this cave that we have not been in forever. So we're gonna come in here, make our way through the, what are we calling this thing? I already forgot, actually. So I guess we'll just call it a jail. And then, yeah, into the nether we go. All right, we're back from the nether, and we got a lot of stuff. I mean, look at my hotbar. Almost a stack and actually exactly a stack and a half of ender pearls, and almost a third of a stack of gravel. Can you believe it? But no, really, we have a... Whoa. Oh, you scared me. What are you doing in here, buddy? But yeah, really, we've got a couple shulkers full of goodies. Let's get up here and just place them down. Oh, it's nighttime. Yeah, so we've got our 2 shulkers, and we've got a whole bunch of blackstone, and this is not for this build, and this might be useful. And then over here, we've got a whole bunch of this. I don't know if I'm going to use that, but we got it. And then, yeah, some more basalt, and then we got the glow... I almost said glowberries. Holy cow, I'm losing my mind. We got the glowstone for the walkway up there, and then I think we might use some of this warped stem for the new build. But yeah, we got quite a bit of stuff, so let's just, I guess we'll just get up there and sleep real quick, and then get going on this walkway. Just kidding, we've got some ores to break down, so let's do that first. All right, well, now that that's done, let's get all of this gold, you know, made up into ingots so that we can make some golden carrots. And it was at this moment that he knew. Yeah, I forgot that you needed them to be in the nuggets. Yeah, go me! So in that case, I guess let's put away our, quartz, and then let's go grab some carrots, why don't we, and try and make up some golden carrots. Alrighty, let's see just how many we're gonna be able to make. Probably not that much, because it's never a lot. And wow, 4 2/3 of a stack. How exciting! So it turns out, after all, that my chicken farm is still gonna be useful. But now that I'm thinking about it, what happened in here? I came down here one day and my villager was zombified, and then the villager in here was also zombified, and, you know, no zombies anywhere. They couldn't have gotten in there. I mean, it's not too dark in there. 10, and yeah, I'm really confused on how they got zombified and then eventually died. Like, I don't really understand that one. So we're back up here trying to get rid of the snow, and it's snowing. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. But anyways, I placed a couple down already. We got this one over here, which got rid of some of the snow, and this one is currently getting rid of some. And from what I understand, level 12 and higher it will get rid of. So like this one will probably be gone, but it's only gonna do that area. So that means that we may need to do a little bit more than I originally anticipated, which I don't know if I like, but we should probably just roll with it. So let's get rid of this over here. Maybe we will place one right next to this plant, or planter, I guess we would call it. And let's try and do this one with moss on it. So let's see, that's all 12, so nothing should accumulate right in this area now. But let's throw some of this moss around and see if we can't get it to look a little bit better. And again, this is just experimenting. I don't really know how this moss is gonna, fit into this build, but I'm kind of just messing with it. So let's see it without the numbers on. And I mean, it's different. I kind of don't hate it though, so maybe we'll mess around with that a little more. So now let's throw one let's go right here and see how that does the lighting. So theoretically, snow would accumulate right there. So let's move this down just one spot, or down there. And that gets rid of the 11, which is good. Now, I actually just did a quick Google and it said 10 or more, it will not accumulate. So what if we move this one back down a bit just to give it a little bit more spacing, I suppose. So that one should be good, which means this needs to be, or does it need to be addressed? I guess we'll just leave that and see how it goes. So I'm gonna look at this for a minute and see where the snow accumulates. If it's anything 10 or higher, I've just got no idea. So here we are staring at the ground. The snow has stopped and the 10s are uncovered. That is beautiful. Please, for the love of everything, do not unsubscribe. I promise I won't sing anymore. But yeah, anyways, so let's get rid of all of the snow and then we just have to make sure everything says 10 or more. And while I'm uncovering this, I'm seeing a lot of 10s and 11s, but I think I may have placed the lights after it snowed, and maybe it only melts the snow up to level 12, but it'll keep it off up to level 10? Who knows? We'll find out. All right, so here we are. All of the snow is gone. Now, let's place one right here on this number 8 and see what that does. I'm not seeing any single digits until we get over here, so let's do this 7 and see what that will do for me. And again, no single digits. And it looks like we've got all double digits now, so theoretically it should be good. So now why don't we try and make it look a little bit prettier? So I guess we'll just kind of decide what to cover each one with, I guess. I don't really know. We'll kind of lead some moss over this way, maybe. And then we could even throw some carpets here. And oh yeah, I forgot it creeps up the wall. Ooh, that's fun. And the more I use the moss up here, for some reason I really like it mixed in with the deep slate. Does this make sense? I mean, I kind of love this, but I am going to do a couple here, I think. Let's see. Maybe we'll just do a couple more carpets throughout here. Maybe this one we'll switch out for some moss. There, a little bit like that, perhaps. And then this one's going to be connecting to another walkway, so we'll just cover that one for now. And then let's see. Perhaps this one we'll do a little bit of fun mossy stuff. We'll just do like a big patch right in the middle here, I think. Yeah, I couldn't tell you why I'm liking this so much, but I'm really liking the random moss in the middle. And now it's finally expansion time. So we got our base camp set up in here with everything, hopefully, that we're going to need. And we need to get going right out here. So I think what we're going to do first is go and kind of flatten this out a bit. And there we go. Flattened out just a little bit. And we're ready to get started on, I guess, designing this, since I really haven't even gotten that far other than a little doodle in a notebook. So I think first thing we're going to do is take care of that fella. And now we just need to build, I think we're going to do a base for this thing. Otherwise, it's just going to be like one tower sticking up. It might look a little weird. So let's plan out a base. And let's see. I want the tower to be kind of right out here on this peak. And of course, another egg. And now I think we'll say that this is going to be the middle of the tower that goes up. So this should probably, actually, maybe we'll set the tower back on the base just a little bit. So I guess we should figure out how tall the tower, or how wide the tower is going to be. So I have it as, I think, 13 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 blocks wide. And I haven't yet decided if I want to do a round tower, which is going to be a pane, or do like a rounded tower, kind of like the library over there. And in case you haven't watched everything yet, this is the library. It's kind of like a rounded square. And I'm kind of leaning on doing that for this as well, but we got to get the base done first. next. And like wherever the base does go to, I'm gonna kind of like pile up some snow on the sides, just so that it kind of blends into the mountainside a little bit better. But for now, I think the base, ooh, how far back should we do the base? Oh yeah, you like golden carrots, don't you? Let me get rid of those. That's not the paid actor, by the way. That's his distant cousin. So maybe we will do the base, like, leave a little tiny spot for, oh, did I just punch you on accident? My bad. Do it like right here. Get out of the way. Now I gotta punch you. Like right here. So the tower would go to there, and then there would be a one space walkway around the back of the tower, which I'm honestly okay with. That's fine. And then maybe this side will go a bit wider so that it kind of leads to that a little bit better. And then obviously the front we can go, you know, as far as we really want to. Maybe even link it right up to the building. Ooh, okay, now I'm thinking. But yeah, anyways, this side we will go, let's see, why don't we just go right down here so that it covers up the whole side of the mountain. And I changed my mind. So where the tower is, there's just going to be a 1 block gap all of the way around the tower. So it'll be right here essentially. And then once we get forward a little bit, ooh, I'm still torn about this. Do we just go right into the building? I think we might. That might be the way to go. So then this one, let's say it'll come out to right here, and then maybe we'll shoot it this way all of the way over to match up with that, so that we don't have to make some weird obscure walkway leading over there. I think that's the plan. I think that's what we're gonna do. So I guess that means that we can remove this couple stuff. That's, yep, these couple things, so that we can link it up right to here. And actually, we're gonna have to go all of the way over here because it's gonna link up right here, which is it gonna be a problem with the building? There's a window there. Okay, so this part will step out 2 blocks so that it meets up with this right here. And then that way we don't have to delete all of this stuff. We'll just, we'll hide it. Change my mind again. We're just going to step out the whole thing 2 blocks. All right, so this is all fixed up. That links right over to there. This one is going to step out slightly once we get up there a little bit further. So we got to move that one, obviously. And our plans are coming together. So I guess now we can get actually building the base for around the tower. So let's start placing some blocks, why don't we? And I think we'll do it the same way we did like the main bit of the castle, where we just kind of place the blocks and then kind of go back through and make it look pretty. So we are cruising right along with our big old base to the new tower that we're going to have, but I had a curve going on here and I've decided I no longer want that. It may have worked out, but like doing that bit around a curve, just I don't really think that would even come close to working. So I have decided to just get rid of it and do a, you know, regular old point out there and make things easy on myself. And I've even changed my mind once again. Now we're just taking down the whole entire west-facing wall on the new platform, the base. And that is simply just because where the tower is, it's kind of just on its own pedestal, and I want to have like a little side building attached to it. I don't know why, but yeah, I guess I just feel like having one tower up there all by itself might look a little interesting. So we're going to put a little sort of building next to it. Maybe a building, maybe something else. I don't know. I just feel like the platform needs to be a little bit bigger, and it needs to have something else up there with it. Or does it? Does it really need that? I don't know if it has to do with just jumping around, you know, picking up all the loose blocks and whatnot, but I think I may have just unchanged my mind. Like, this is going to be a little bit of a funky tower, so maybe it should be on its own pedestal up there. Yep, I talked myself back into it. We're putting it back. It's going to be on its own little pedestal. So we got that rebuilt. We just got to do the details around the edge. But what I am going to do is take this wall down. And once it's down, I'm going to tell you why. It is down, so now I will tell you why. So, you see how the back of this is just a little bit plain? Well, I think what we may do, I don't know if it's going to come all the way over to the building or to the end of this building, but we're going to kind of run it out this way so that there's a little bit of a walkway, you know, maybe a little like seating area over here, and that'll just help, you know, block the boring nothingness that is of the back of this building right there. So I don't know if I want to go out here and over, or if I want to bring it back in further and then over, or yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea. So we've got the base built, and we do have a slight curve in the side. I don't know if I like it, but we're going to keep it for now. And guess what? It's snowing. So while we continue to work on this, we're just going to kind of, keep in the back of our mind that we can at some point go over and make sure that our lights are working under the pathway. But for now, we're just going to keep on going with, oops, that doesn't belong down there, with the base. We got the base pretty much completed, I think. I mean, there's a gap here that obviously we haven't filled yet, but as for the rest of it, I mean, we've got the walls all the way around. We've got the little detail at the top all the way around. And we do obviously still have to do something with the walls because they're pretty boring. But yeah, most of it is pretty much done. And I decided to sleep because I didn't want any more snow over here. It's already going to be annoying to clean up. But let's go check our paths and see if snow accumulated anywhere, which hopefully it didn't. And we're looking pretty good. No snow anywhere. Wow, it actually worked. We could probably do something up here, and I also forgot to do down there. But yeah, we can come back to that. But wow, look at that. It actually worked, and it doesn't even look that bad. Like, I enjoy it. So, as for in here, we have to come up with a staircase that will get from this lower level up to the tower level right here. And I don't know how I want to design it. I kind of want to do one of those that like starts in the middle and goes up that way and then up this way, big and regal. So maybe I'll do a little bit of a Google search to see what those things look like. Before we do anything else, let's actually do the lighting around this part so that we can, avoid any more snow. So let's do that quick. Just in time for the sun to come up. We got everything sorted up on this level anyways. We haven't gone up there, and I didn't really do too much along the edge just because, like I said, we got to do that staircase, and even these may be in the line of fire. I don't know. But yeah, now we want to get to that staircase. That sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Now, I guess I should probably decide what we're going to use for, like, the walkway part of it. Because we don't want it all to be deep slate stone brick, do we? It sounds kind of boring. So what if we switch it up and do like, I don't know, dark oak or something going up there? What about like andesite slabs? I wonder if I have any of those handy. Probably not. So I went and got a couple options. I just have polished andesite, and dark oak slabs. So I guess we'll just kind of throw some down and see what looks the best, I suppose. But first we got to get this landing, so let's just throw some polished andesite down first. So that is pretty much what the staircase would look like, obviously without a frame around it. And I really like this polished andesite. Now, I think what we're going to do before we get into messing with a different block, let's build the frame around it. All right, so this is pretty much the basis of the walkway. And I really am still liking these these slabs. I don't really know why. They don't really kind of match anything. So that's a little odd. But I did just have a thought. So this is my thought, and it may not make sense right now, but the building is going to have some blackstone in it. So I went for the blackstone bricks. And what are they called? Polished blackstone brick? Yeah. Polished blackstone brick slabs. And now, of course, it's snowing again. But I'm kind of debating maybe doing the entire floor up here out of them and then kind of fading them out as you go down the stairs. Like turning them right back into the stone brick slabs, maybe. Maybe a little something like this. Like they're a little sparse at the bottom. And then the higher you go, the deep slate starts to fade out. And suddenly there's no real deep slate slabs around. It's mostly blackstone. So let's see how this looks right now. And it's not too bad. It's actually pretty much exactly what I was going for. I'm trying to keep up with the snow. But yeah, so it kind of just fades up into the blackstone. And then once you get up here, it'll be all blackstone. So I think we're going to go with that for now. Let me get the whole floor up there and the stairs done, and then we'll check it out. All right, so we got the floor done, and I mean, look at this. Look at how cool this looks. I'm really, really loving the pale moss around this build. I might have to do a little bit more with it in some places. But yeah, we got the stairs done, and the walkway around the tower is all blackstone. And of course, we had to, do some carpet with some glowstone underneath because I forgot that these don't give off as much light as those. So that became a slight issue. But I believe we have the whole walkway in double digis. So we should be good. And now we are not going to be building the tower because we've got to do around this first and make it look like that. So I might just knock that out quick because, we've done that in past videos, and then maybe you'll be able to see it in the time lapse whenever we get there. But yeah, I think we're going to do that next. And when I said, knock that out quick, I kind of forgot just how massive this thing was. And we essentially have to take down the entirety of the walls to reshape them because they are in just a little bit from their original spots. So yeah, it may take a little bit longer than whatever quick would be. And now that all the walls are completely down, I can confirm that this will not be quick. That took a little bit of time. I'm just gonna be honest. Taking something down that you just built like, I don't know, 24 hours ago is a little bit tough. It's not fun. So now that we're done with clearing and, whoops, I left the hitboxes on. I am kind of... I might change the idea again before we start building. I missed a block, no! But yeah, so just, look at this and how it kind of makes it look like it wants to just kind of do that. Just like, a base at an angle, maybe like on its own little pedestal right here. And the thing that gets me is even from over here, it kind of just looks like it should do that to link up with this little peak that it's on. And then the only trouble would be this little kick out right here, but I'm kind of thinking if we do go along the lines of this little like triangular pedestal thing, it would come down like this and then maybe go up here and then just do like a little bit of an archway back down somewhere right in this area. And then that way this little kick out all of the way over to this side will just kind of be like a clean, box of a base. And I don't know why. Oh, hold on a sec. Okay, there we go. And I don't know why I really want to do this, but I guess maybe because the tower itself is going to be funky. Does that mean it should just have its own funky base down here? I don't know. So let's start ripping on that thing. Now, before we head down below to check out what I did down there with the pedestal and everything, let me just tell you, this might be one of my favorite things I've ever done in Minecraft. So let's get out here and see. Nope, can't really see too much from over here. So we're going to go for a fly. And look at our pedestal and the underside of the walkway. Oh my goodness, I am just loving this. I didn't really know if I would ever have an opportunity to use these pale oak leaves and like the hanging moss and all that, but I think it fits in down here so well. But let's start over here. So we've got this entrance, which conveniently I completely forgot about. It's the underside of our castle, the downstairs. So this is below the king's tower. This leads down to the bottom level. This leads back up to the top level. And then this is the little maze thing that I made that leads out to the front door and has a chicken staring at me. But yeah, this you kind of just sneak, and it's got a pig. Okay, whatever is going on here. But yeah, this comes out right over here on, the base layer. So it's all interconnected. We can even get all of the way down to the underside using all the pathways and everything, which obviously I've still got to do some stuff in there, but that's not the point of this video. Look at how cool this is down here. I mean, it's like an icy winter wonderland. So we've got some soul lanterns hanging about and, the moss everywhere, some ice and snow coming through the ceiling. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just that cold down here. Who knows? But yeah, then we've got some icicles over on this. Actually, there's one over here too. Yeah, but we've got some icicles and, ice trickling down everywhere, and let me tell you, it looks pretty cold down there. And yeah, I think it came out pretty good. We did some bushes and stuff all of the way around the pedestal, and not for nothing, that pedestal idea ended up being an absolute home run. I am absolutely in love with how this looks. It's like I'm just envisioning what this tower is hopefully going to look like above it, and having a pedestal like that, or like one little support post down here, it's like the little detail that it really, really needed, and I am so excited. But now I think it is finally time for us to get started on this tower, and you know what that means. But first, why is there snow right here? Oh my goodness, there's a 9. Are you kidding me? And we will fix that. But anyways, it's time-lapse time, so let's go! I know. I say this after just about every single build time-lapse, but I am so excited with this thing. Yeah. I'm excited. So let's go. What the heck? Why is there... What? How? Why is there a pig behind this? All right, whatever. You're staying there. We got a building to look at. So anyways, let's come around here to the back of the castle and check out the King's Tower of Worship. And look at this absolute behemoth. And no, I didn't really think of what to do over here, but I mean, just look at this thing. I did not expect it to be this tall, first off. But yeah, this is it. This is our big build, our big old tower, and we got to get into some lore of why it looks like that in the middle, and, you know, just everything else that has to do with it. So let's come for a slight walk over here. We'll go up the front stoop. This might be the furthest from a stoop, so just ignore me. This is the front staircase, and here we are at the base of what was at one point the King's Tower of Worship. Now, before we go in and check this thing out, let's do the lore real quick and why it looks how it looks now. So essentially what I'm going with is, I guess we do have to come back down here after all, is this was at one point the King's Tower of Worship. So up here, like, you know, you can see the gilded blackstone right there. That is where the king's throne was, and we'll get up there and see that in just a moment. And then all the way at the very tippy top of the tower, there was a shrine, just like, you know, a shrine to go pay your respects or pray or whatever you do up that, you know, at a shrine. And then something happened, clearly. So what we're going with for this is maybe somewhere over in the distance that away, there's a, you know, an uncontacted cult of sorts. And they came over. What is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, I have Distant Horizons on right now. My first time ever trying it. I think that might be my rocket farm. Way over in the distance. That's kind of funny. But yeah, so the lore that we're going with is this cult, which I have yet to, you know, form or craft, but there is going to be, you know, some builds over there for this cult. But they use their dark magic or dark forces or whatever you want to call it, and they have absolutely decimated this tower. So I guess to explain the rest of it, we should probably get inside. So let's get up here, and firstly and foremostly, words, those are words. I don't know if the second one's a word, but now it is. The tower didn't look like this, believe it or not. Like, you know, it used to look like this stuff, where the top, around the very top of it, it used to just look like this. Like all the way around the top of it. There was no giant spikes up there in the corners like there is. That all happened once this, you know, the cult came in and just destroyed everything. It was just a basic shrine tower, but now we have whatever the cult did to this thing. So we've got our fog effect in the floors. You know, we got some plants growing down through it, and, you know, this is just the layers and then space and then layer of black stained glass just to get that effect. And I think it works. It gets the job done with the fog. And then we've also got some serious growth going on in here with, you know, some glow lichen and the pale oak vines, I think that's what they're called, and, you know, the pale oak moss and the leaves and all that. And yeah, they have essentially turned this building into like a portal for their cult. And then once we climb the stairs to get up to where the king's throne is, and, you know, kind of used to be, we have the king's floor with his throne and a portal. Now you can see the throne, or what it used to be. There was a throne here. It was very nice, and it has since been slightly ruined. You know, it's turned to cobble. There's a little bit of cobbled deep slate around, and, you know, the pale oak moss everywhere, and whatever these nether wart things are called, I don't even know. But yeah, none of this was here before, you know, the dark magic event happened. This was just strictly a throne room. You know, it had its little incline to get up to the throne, but none of this around the throne was here, and obviously the portal wasn't here either. So they've performed their dark magic here, and they have essentially ripped the top half of the building off of the bottom half. So we've got some particles and, you know, pieces of the building just suspended in midair. The whole upper section is suspended. And we've got another fog effect up here with the particles going up into the fog. So we used some cyan stained glass panes for that, and, you know, cyan candles, I guess they'd just be called. And then, yeah, the whole top section was ripped apart. It's floating up in the sky. And now I guess we can get up there and check out the rest of that. So it was never even made of blackstone like it is. It was all, like I said, it just looked exactly like everything else. So I think what happened here was when they got hold of the upper section, which obviously used to be a lot lower, you know, and connected to that, but whatever they did to it just absolutely burned it, or, you know, left their magic stains all over it, and now the shrine that used to be up here is now yet another portal with particles and pieces just suspended and kind of aiming up to the heavens, I guess you could say. And it yet again has the whole pale moss, you know, vines and leaves and all of that great stuff around with the nether stuff. And now that it's daytime again, you can see a little bit more of the particles just kind of floating up to the heavens up there. And actually, let's get a good look from it out here. I mean, it's kind of cool. It has a very, like, mystical feel to it, you know, the particles shooting up from that portal and also in between the sections of the building. So whatever this cult did to, you know, tear this building apart and use their magic on it, it did some stuff. And, you know, I'm excited to go find a spot just kind of out in the wilderness and build like a base camp of, I don't know, maybe some sort of ruins that they live at or they practice their magic at, something like that. And, you know, not for nothing, look at distant horizons right now. This is nuts. Like, look how far I can see, and I'm just not dropping frames. Oh, actually, that kind of frightened me. Wow. But anyways, as I was saying, this distant horizons, look at how far you can see everywhere. Like, if you look over in this direction, let me just get over here real quick. You can see all of the way over to the woodland mansion that was pretty far away, and far beyond. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and play with it, like, you know, just do my normal play style with this on and see if I can just make it work at all times. But I mean, it's pretty dang cool. But anyways, back to you know, our build. So yeah, this is the King's Tower of Worship that was ripped into by this cult that has dark magic powers, and this thing really did take absolutely forever. So that is where we're gonna leave this one for today. So as per usual, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this thing as much as I did building it. And I mean, this thing came out absolutely incredible. So if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and, you know, like and comment and, you know, maybe even share it. Share it with your grandmother. Maybe she would like some weird cult build. Maybe not, actually. But yeah, so, yeah, I love you guys so much, and thank you again for watching. And yeah, that pretty much covers it. So bye.